Now here I have the new DJI Avata. This is actually the Explorer bundle. Comes with the Avata, the new goggles, those are the Integra goggles, as well as the new motion controller. Now this isn't a full review, this will just be a quick unboxing, and I also want to put them side by side with the goggles too, and also the motion controller, just so you guys can see some of the differences or changes. All right, so once you open them up, we have the DJI Avata in this box, and then the DJI Goggles Integra, and it does come with the motion controller. We have some illustrations here at the top. The goggles are sitting right there in the box. And one thing that's on the new goggles, you can now select the exact strength you're gonna need for your eyes. Where here on the previous one, it was actually adjustable, but I do think that a lot of people were also having issues with it being adjusted, always moving. Now you can kind of lock them in with the setup here. And we do have the motion controller here. We do have some new trigger on the front. We also have some new stuff here on the side, but I will put that side by side. But let's first take a look at the goggles. And you're gonna hook this up here. So there's a little hook that goes on, and there it is. So now you have the battery integrated into the strap. It is cushioned here on the very back. And the way you tighten it up is you put it around your head, and then you twist this on the very back to tighten it, as well as loosen it up. This is all integrated. One of the things that a lot of people didn't like was flying with these goggles, and then you had to then hook up your battery separately, as well as hook up your cable to the goggle. Now when it comes to weight, the new Integra goggles, I know they always have what it's rated for, but I might as well put it on my own scale here. It comes out to 410 grams. That's this setup, just like this out of the box. The goggles by themselves, and we'll just do that real quick, 293 grams, just the goggles. If you wanted to now put this around your head and have this one on the very top, you are able to do that. All right, moving to the outside of the goggles. Once you flip these antennas up, you have now physical buttons, which is nice. You have a 5D physical button here, as well as a back button up top. On the right side, on the original or the DJI Goggles 2, you do not have that option. They did bring those buttons over. Moving over to the right side, we now have a battery, I believe a battery indicator. You're on the battery indicator on the Integra. So you press the power button here at the bottom, and now the battery light shows me 2 bars. And on the right side of the Goggles 2 is actually your touchpad. On the left side, we don't have those lights anymore where it tells you which channel someone is on. So that is taken away. I'm not sure if it's maybe transparent in there, but I will find that out once I turn it on. Now, when it comes to the eye adjustments, you are still able to move it in and out. So if you wanted to change the position of it, you can actually slide those. You are able to do those on the Goggles 2. However, like I mentioned before, these have changed. But before, this would actually turn to adjust for your eye level. Now you actually are going to be picking out the exact strength that you'll need. Staying on the bottom of the goggles, we do have the micro SD card, which is at the bottom here on the Goggles 2. But on the new Integra, the micro SD card is right dead smack in the middle of your eyes. I am not seeing a option for a headphone jack like we had on the previous one. So that does not look like it is part of the new Integra goggles. Now, as far as fitment goes, I'll just try this on real quick just to see. Now, I'm not looking through the goggles themselves because I haven't adjusted it yet, but let me just see how easy this is. Put that on just like so, and then turn it, and there you go. Ooh, it's actually really tight. You can actually have this thing nice and snug. Pop these up, and that is it. Pretty simple for you to tighten them on and off. And I'm looking around right now. I'm just in the studio, but I'm not seeing much of a light leak anywhere. Maybe right here at the very bottom where my nose is. And then we have the version 2s. These you would actually pull. You would put these on across your head, and then you pull these across. As far as that light leak, I was saying it's actually a little bit better on these goggles. I'm not getting that light here at the very bottom, but of course everyone's face is a little bit different. Now, the one thing we are missing that I'm not seeing in the box is this little eyepiece that covers up your lens here that you normally just push right onto the back. However, I did watch their Integra video on how they recommend storing your goggles, and they recommend undoing this strap, twisting this around, and then putting the actual back, the battery portion of it, right over your lens, just like that, and then storing it in your bag this way. All right, moving on to the new, this is called the Integra Motion or motion controller. All right, so looking at the top of it, we do have, of course, that new trigger. So you are able to then fly your drone forward by pulling the trigger, and it can now go in reverse. So you just lift up and push forward. And that was something that we weren't able to do on the original. On the very top of the remote, we now have a little joystick, which we didn't have before. Before we just had this button as a brake button, because all you would really do is just pull the trigger and go forward. And then if you wanted to let go or slow it down, you would let go of the accelerator. Or if you wanted to stop it, you can actually slam on the brakes. All right, on the very top left, we do have the lock button. It is now orange. It used to be red. Now it looks like it's orange. And then we also have the menu controls here at the bottom left. Looking at from the side view, we still have the power button in the same place. So you just press that once and press and hold to turn it on. As well as if you flip it over to the other side, we now have, instead of this tilt that they used to have where you would actually push it up one way or the other, we now have a scroll, and it's actually a scroll wheel, but it also serves as a function button as well. I can actually press it in. On the top of the remote, we still have the battery indicators, and at the bottom looks the same. You're gonna be charging it up via USB-C. Now, as far as weight of the motion controllers, the new motion controller, 173 grams. And if I put on the Goggles 2 or motion controller, original one, 173 grams. Time to charge all this gear up and head out for my first flight with the new motion controller Integra as well as the goggles. If you guys want to see that, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. As always, if you guys got some value from this video, a big like would be much appreciated. This is also Stacio with FlytPath.com. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.